So wonderful. And all over Bharani, Tanjore temple. The mythology is Brahma and Vishnu went to Shiva Bhagavan and said, show us the creation, how the creation started. And they wanted to see him. Then he said, you can come and see me as I started the journey. And when he say he, here we say Shiva Shakti. Shiva and Shakti are same for us, Shiva Shakti. So both of them, both Brahma and Vishnu went on their own way, but neither could see the origin. They came back and told Shiva Bhagavan. Mahavishnu said, I could not see the origin. But Brahma lied. It is mythology. There must be some significance to that. And he used a flower, Tarambu. Tarambu is cursed because of that, because Tarambu gave witness to Brahma, saying that yes, we did see the origin. They didn't. So they are punished. That is the reason why, mythologically, you don't see Brahma's temple very often. There is very famous Brahma's temple in North, only one. But generally, you don't see Brahma's temple, Sannidhanam for Brahma. This is the mythology. The real reason, no one knows. But it's a wonderful, great function. You can, my way of getting the grace is I imagine my mind. I think of Thiruvannamalai today, what is going on, what a wonderful origin he shows. Pure light, that's all the origin is, Shiva Shakti. Shiva Bhagavan, origin is a pure light. Because before that there was nothing, not even darkness, there's nothing beyond darkness. Then the light started, the knowledge came. Prior to that there was pure ignorance. That's all there was. Virutra. Virutra was the Asura, mighty Asura. He creates the primordial ignorance in us. So when we are born, we identify ourselves with our mind, body, ignorance, mind, body. We do not think of us as a soul. So that reality, the truth, is hidden at the time of birth itself. That's the reason why we are ignorant throughout, because they caught hold of us at that time. Viritra, Pala, is another Asura's name, actually I forget it. And they cover your mind like a cloud covering the sun. And then of course the mythology is the Kundalini starts working and the Ganesha starts a journey in Mooladhara, and he gives us gnosis. He shows us who we are, where we came from, where we are going. All those three questions, fundamental question, we never ask and we don't know the answer. And we don't even bother to ask because we know the answer already. The answer is me. I am Kumar, I have an identity, my mind, body, that's all I identify with. I don't identify with the real me, real you, which is your soul, which is the only truth, is the only aspect of mother which is in us. The rest of it is the mind, body, ego, all of it goes away. We have a short-term rental, we use this rental thing. Again, the reason is to accentuate the Atman, to grow the Atman, to go to higher level of consciousness. But we don't think of it that way. Our journey is, we are born, we get married, we have children, we grow old and we die. The whole thing looks so silly. But that's all the life is, that's all we all believe in. But we overcome that. So on this day of Magam, we think of all this mythology. The mythologies are important because they create certain amount of romance. It's romantic, but they have real meaning behind it. But the Puranas, Itihasas, Vedas, they all give you the truth, but how often we think of that as part of us. Yeah, I eat every day, I get up, I'm a physician, I have a job to do, I do it, I go. But luckily, because of Divine Mother's grace to us, we think of her, because she is Mahamaya. She only started the whole journey. Why did she do it? That question, most sages, rishis would say, don't ask that question, because no one knows. what was the reason creation started. What Mother has told me is, I started you because my love for you. I want to know me. I want to experience myself. I'm all alone. And the only thing which is real, which exists, there's nothing else. I want to experience myself. So I create this drama. I become you. And then I let you grow up from one cell organism to plants, to animals, to humans, to higher level of humans. That is what our aim right now should be. How do I go to higher level of human? From this ordinary mind, how do I develop Vijnanamaya, the higher mind, which will tell me who I am, where I come from, where do I go from here? That is the reality. That's all we should be asking. Otherwise, life is really meaningless. You're born, you have family, you grow up, you create, you propagate, and then you die. But before you go, we have to know us. That is called self-realization. Self-realization. Once you realize yourself, the real journey starts. And this is the entrance to that. There are many Yakshinis, Mohinis, Vidyadharas. These are all supersensual energies. We are very dense. That's highest form we can go is our mind. There are many, many other things. There are billions and trillions of bacteria. We don't see them. But similarly, the trillions of supersensual forces, various degrees of development. And we have to evolve to that each level. To do that, we have to know them. First of all, we have to know they exist. We don't, because our organs of senses are very primitive. Our vision is very primitive, our hearing is very primitive, our taste is primitive, our mind is primitive. But this is a beginning. We have to have them. From that, we go to higher level of consciousness. That is the aim. All this Ganesha teaches you. Your Kundalini starts waking up. As a human, your Kundalini is awakened. All of you, all of us, Kundalini is active. And Ganesha sits in Mooladhara, primal wisdom. That's Ganesha. And he starts teaching us. And if we have the grace, which we have, if we don't have, we won't be here on this day to talk about these things. So we are blessed. And she gives us the wisdom to know us and to know her. So we have a long travel. As human, you finish up and go to next level, peaceful level, and experience your karma, Vaikuntha. Then you come back, and the journey continues. The journey doesn't end there. Just a short-term rest, recreation, enjoy your karma, good, bad, whatever, and come back and start the journey again. But that time will be higher level of consciousness. We may not have this primitive organs, mind, body, intellect, these are all primitive. Will be higher form. And they exist even now in different planets, different solar system, different galaxies. They exist, but they are not mind, body, intellect, Panchabhutas like we are. And the ETs, do ETs exist? Extraterrestrial? Definitely. Every second they exist here, they exist everywhere. But we don't see them. We may pass them by, we don't even know. What we can see would be based on this Panchabhuta, mind, body, intellect, ego, complex. Beyond that, we don't know. Hopefully, she will teach us. She's teaching us. Right now, she's teaching us. More than teaching us, the grace, if we are blessed, and that we are. And we have earned it. You have earned it. I have earned it to be in this level. But to go to higher level, I have to use. I have to get more grace. I got to relate to her. That is the mission of our temple, to experience and explore and experience the divine. That is a mission. Exploring and experiencing is something very profound. Even Rishis asked for that. Vasishta asked for that. And Devi said, no, don't ask for that. We give you anything you want, but don't ask to explore and experience us. Then mythology is even asked. Mahalakshmi mentioned as Mahakali. And Mahakali said, no, don't get that close to us, then you won't exist. So she didn't. Then ultimately they go to Mahasaraswati and she takes them to Vaikuntha and they see the creation. then they see the secrets with themselves. And I won't go into that. That goes into different subject. So that is, these are all the fundamental knowledge, fundamental wisdom. The only main reason we are here to have self-realization. Once I and you know yourself and you know who truly we are not this mind-body complex. We are much, much higher than that. We are pure spirits. And we come from her. She is trillion aspects of that. We are small aspect. But our tradition is such, we have festivals, we have mythology, we have Puranas, like today is a day. And you look outside, she gives such a great darshan. You saw the moon today, pure, there's no cloud, nothing. Wonderful, wonderful. That's gift for us. Today I look at her, I think of all this, how kind you are to let us explore and give us your house. This is her house. She's going to expand it. She's going to make it more magnificent. And you see the model down there, and it will be one of a kind. All the 24 Sannidhanam. Actually, now it's 27 Sannidhanams. Those are very unique. Around Drishtipiram, she has given us 14 devatas. You will call them as Grama devatas? Grama devatas, guardian deities. Every village they will have one. When you leave the village, you thank the deity. What the meaning is, these are lower vibratory energies, but they are not lower compared to Mother. To us, they are million times higher vibrations. These devatas protect us. They would be something like a policeman next to your home, watching. There's more protection than the president sitting in Washington, because nobody sees that you know him. But when the policeman stands in front of your house, they know there is some protection for that person. So it's similar to that. So she's given us 14 of them. Most of them you wouldn't have even heard of. But we will have them, and we will relate to them. And they all will protect us. So she's going to give a magnificent house. We will do small things like construction. That's minor thing. The real constructor is Vishwakarma. So it's going to be like that. I just put, but that is just a structure. Energy is all her, and her transcendent aspect. Millions of them. That many gods we have. 330 million gods we talk about. Those are all the transcendent vibratory aspect. Lesser than her, but million times more than us. We are very dense organism. This is vibration unit 1. I am maybe 10,000. The lowest, closest Yakshinis would be million times vibration than us, closest one. There are millions of them. They all congregate here because this is her house. So they're allowed to be here. And our Pitrus too would be somebody like that. Pitrus, our ancestors who passed away, they all become higher vibratory energies, so they are like devatas. That's the reason why we think of Pitrus even today. When I come to any function, I think of them first. And that really helps them. More than that, it helps me. They gift us with many nicer aspects of life. So all this knowledge comes about reality with Mother's grace. And today, the Deepam is symbolic of the wisdom. If you like Deepam, the biggest one will be in Thiruvannamalai. You can see it at 35 kilometers. You can see that the light. 2,000 liters of ghee they use. And the wick they use is many meters of wick they use. So on this day, that is Akasha, symbolic. Thiruvannamalai, symbolic of that. Symbolic. So on this day is a great festival there. And you know this, and you think of this, then you are there. That's a secret. All the holy places I go and visit with the direction, they're always with me because I know I have been there. Even with Maharishis, I go and invoke a particular Maharishi. You would have lived 10,000, 20,000 years ago, long ago. Not 5,000, 10,000. Long ago they existed, 30, 40,000 years years ago. That's how the migration started. Big piece of Africa split and came and hit the Hindu-Kush region. That is the time Himalayas formed. That will be a cataclysmic event. Million atomic bombs, that much of landmass crashing. And that time, the Devatas, the higher forms, looking down at the earth would have seen that. The cataclysmic. Millions and trillions of life forms would have died. We would not have been there. But that happened 80 to 100 million years ago. So we would not have been there. We might have been there, but not as a human, maybe in other forms, other primitive life forms. Okay, it took us more than 1 billion years to get to this. And we might have been there. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is they looked and saw the cataclysm 80 million years ago. And the thought, the compassion of trillion forms perishing, because nothing exists. The heat is so much. Everything is plasma. They are not neither gas or solid or liquid beyond the form. Plasma, all became one. That is the secret of, you see, you all know that we have, so that yeah, people don't look at it. You see that? The reason why they call it, this is Mahavishnu energy. So they have so much reverence. The reason is the thought, the emotion of that devata looking at the place, that compassion that is impregnated in that. There's a river, I forgot the name of it, you may know. Nandaki river or something. Kandaki river in Nepal. And this is from there. All this, they became plasma, they became solidified, and others, some worms made those marks. That is the reason why that is so effective. On this day, look at that and think of Mahavishnu, think of creation, think of divine. It's very, very auspicious. And that is given to us by Siddha, actually 2 Siddhas. There are 27 markings on that. See, all this you would not have known. Now next time you go, you look at it. That marking, 27 marking, there is 27 solar system. Science knows 13 of them, I think, I've identified. There are 27 of them. And each one represents one constellation. One constellation would be thousands and thousands of suns, solar system. That will be one constellation. And that is represented there. So on this day, you think of all that. And Deepam is in us. We light it symbolically. We think of all this thought process. And then inside our wisdom starts. Our grace from Divine Mother gives us the wisdom to think of who we are, where we came from, where we are going to go. And she will teach us how to grow up. How to grow up. We have to grow up to higher forms, to higher vibratory levels. And that journey will start after I shed this form and you shed your form. But the spirit continues the journey. And with her grace, we will grow up. We will become higher forms, higher level of consciousness. And the journey will be wonderful, very beneficial. And at the end, we join her back. We go back to where we came from. Thank you.
Let's do a big round of applause.